So
You should
if you
treat
click
your
there-
whole room, man.
Yeah, I should treat my whole room. And we should get longer cables.
Are
I have
we
a pretty long
online
cable.
yet?
Huh?
Are we
We're
online?
live.
Oh, we're
yes,
live.
yes, we're live.
wave
What's
now.
up, everyone?
Hi.
Hey, we can wave. What's up? Let's see. This
I
should
have
be
wave.
working.
Yes, it's me. It's me.
yes.
I know. Yes.
Hey, everyone.
He's-
What's
he-
up? Hope you guys are doing well. Live from the Artist Coaching podcast
Headquarters?
studio. Headquarters.
Oh no, not headquarters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
old,
where are
podcast
our
studio.
logos? The
I,
Bassjackers logo I missed and the J Hardway.
It's all work in progress. We can add anything.
Okay.
Like I
Anything? Okay.
Almost
Good to
anything.
know.
Last
That should
week,
be actually a screen, and then we can
Yeah.
rotate the logos and have like an animation of the podcast.
last week I was looking at neon logos. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, well, the 80s schools,
gotta-
they want their ID back.
There's this
Yeah.
one Chinese guy who does on TikTok, always goes viral with his marketing about neon signs. So,
Okay. Well,
Hey.
now we know about the algorithm J is in.
Just a quick question for the people in the chat. Can you hear us properly? Like, is the volume all right? Because we need to know. As in, it looks all fine here, and it looks like you can hear us, so that's a good sign. And yes, it's the three of us in one room.
Hey!
You- How swell.
How
Nice.
swell?
How swell. That we
How
are in
swell.
one room.
What does that mean? How swell?
How nice.
Oh, it sounds great.
Yeah.
They say
No, amazing. Yeah, it should sound extra good.
extra good since we have mics.
We have actual mics going through the Rodecaster Pro. We're not sponsored yet.
No,
But maybe they want to sponsor us.
if you are
Yeah.
listening,
Although every podcast in the world probably uses their
yeah,
hardware.
but
so-
Pioneer sponsors as well, right?
Is there a record for unsponsored podcasts for how long they
How
can
long-
go and then get listeners? Yeah.
How long without a
Yeah,
a
yeah,
sponsor?
yeah.
I don't know. Like, no. What can also happen is that they go behind the paywall, so no sponsors, but like five euros a
Mhm.
month to get access.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but I don't really know a podcast that hasn't got a sponsor.
Well,
big
I
one.
know one. A big one.
The artist coaching.
These
podcast.
guys. So
Um,
far,
in order
we'll
for
sell
me,
eventually.
in order for me to travel here every week, if we want to do this live, it would be nice to get compensated. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're using all my equipment.
Talking is tireful. Like,
Cost me tires,
yeah,
Exactly.
electricity
It's
for the car.
heavy. Anyway,
But
guys,
the coffee is for free because it's
Coffee is
Joey's.
good.
It's all
It's
on my
good coffee.
expense.
You have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
have to
The
give it
room,
to Joey.
it's all decorated.
Yeah, it's really nice
yeah.
decorated.
It's a very
I
cozy.
mean, the
room.
logo does look really cool.
Yeah, the logo has been done by a friend of mine, but we need some updates, as in we need some extra lighting. But
Yeah. So the
overall-
idea is for everybody listening, watching, we're in a podcast studio, which was Joey's old artist coaching
office, yeah, this is where
office.
everything started. As in, I've been here for I think 6 years.
Yeah.
And if you look at all the videos, they're all recorded here.
Yeah, and now I want to make it into the podcast studio and have everything set here. So we just press one button and we're live.
Yeah.
But for now, it's
it wasn't one button.
Good enough. let's
yeah.
say.
I mean, it
Yeah.
probably looks better than from
Looks-
the perspective of everyone. Than,
If I look at
from our
here, like
perspective.
if I just look at the image, I would be pleasantly surprised if I was looking at that. So maybe my bar is
Such
low.
a modest guy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like
such a modest guy. yeah.
yeah.
I'm just,
I have that with the mirror every time.
yeah.
Like,
Can the guy be proud of his work?
yeah, no, you did great.
Yeah, man.
did
Hey,
great.
wow.
Hey,
Chapeau.
how was the week?
Good.
Is that what we're going to talk about? The week. The week.
The week was
No, I have
good.
some preparation, quite a
Yeah.
few preparations.
Let's
actually.
dig in some
let's just
music-related shit.
Deadmau5 strikes again.
Oh,
Yes,
That
actually,
was
about
and
something
how
Ralph
brutal.
brought up already to talk about,
Yeah?
which
Yeah,
is a
last
good,
time. Yeah, yeah.
interesting topic, I think.
What was it?
was more about it was about the post of Blau or Tree Lau. I
Tree
don't
Lau,
know. Yeah, for those who don't know Blau, because hasn't been really active in the dance scene as of late, but he used to do quite some releases on Revealed.
And he
I
also
guess.
did like the first NFT album. or
Yeah,
so.
but I think not all music enthusiasts are about NFTs. So,
No,
but
but
he's really big in
was
the
a-
crypto scene.
He was
yeah.
a big name in progressive house and
Yeah.
in, like,
Yeah,
in the scene
yeah,
for
like
sure.
a true Revealed guy,
Yeah.
and he released there quite often, and he made some good music back then. And but he's yeah, he turned into crypto, and that's more of his. Yeah, he's entrepreneuring in crypto. Not really sure what he does there, but yeah, apparently he does really well for himself because he has a big ass house
He was setting up
somewhere.
a label on blockchain. That's what his plan
Okay.
was.
Well,
Anyway, that's not what the story is
No.
about.
that's not what the story is about. He played at the inauguration of Trump.
Yep.
And for me, a question was he got a lot of backlash for it. And yeah, could be for various reasons. For me, to be honest, politics are not my thing. If you want to play for the inauguration, you
Yeah.
can play. And but is it a wise decision? Yeah, you can have your question marks.
It's
Yeah.
definitely interesting. When you brought it up in the chat, because we didn't really talk about it yet.
Yeah.
You only brought it up. You also said like, "Hey, that's some interesting things. Should you, as an artist, always play everywhere?
Yeah, play everywhere. I
Should
mean,
you
there,
play in
there,
every
yeah.
country? If North Korea asks you to
Yeah.
play there, would you do it? It's like it's really that's a
It's an interesting,
interesting thing.
question, and also, also for him, yeah, I think the backlash becomes mainly because are you playing there on merit or not, or is it more like I know people and I play there as a DJ, or should you just play and don't promote it so much? And but yeah, let's say if Calvin Harris did it because yeah he couldn't care less about Trump or Kamala winning, would we have less of a would it get less backlash, but
Maybe it
it's
was
interesting.
more. Maybe it was more about the description he put next to the video. I guess it was, as in that he was very proud to play there, and I don't really recall what he said, but that kind of insinuated that he was happy to play there in some kind of way. So maybe that, yeah, triggered some people.
Yeah, or the
It
first
definitely
DJ
triggered
being
Deadmau5.
somewhere. To be honest, kind of triggered me also because you got to get there on merit more than knowing people. But on the other hand, man, if I would be in the same position, I think yeah we would also play.
Would
Yeah,
you, would
why
you
not?
play?
Yeah,
It depends a bit on
Yeah.
like if you how much you get paid, I think, and what position financially you're in. If it's like a large sum of money, and like for me, and it would be like securing like future mortgage, let's say,
Mhm.
for the next 10, 20 years, it would be very interesting. If that's not the case, then I would, about such a thing, think twice. Not necessarily even, put politics aside. If I saw it, it's not an event where
No,
a DJ really adds that much. He also, I
True.
saw a photo of him standing on his balcony, and then there's all these people in suits.
Yeah, but
It
still
doesn't
remember
really,
Tiesto playing the Olympics. That's also not such an event, but it's cool to let yourself be heard.
Yeah, but the
That's-
Olympics,
yeah.
that is people are like athletes walking
well,
in
it's
happy, and they're being
it's
brought
not
up by the
political at
music.
all. It's all about good stuff, and I mean politics can be about negative vibes, but I do doubt or I think you would get less backlash if you would have done it on a Democrat thing. That's
Yeah.
also how it
Yeah.
works in Holland.
I'm
And I'm not a fan of Trump at all. And to be honest, I wasn't a fan of Kamala Harris, and I don't know anything so much about American politics anyway. I couldn't care less, to be honest. But apparently, a lot of people voted for him. So yeah, why not play the inauguration of the next U.S. president?
Yeah, I
But
think.
yeah, I think it's also the how you bring the message and why you
Yeah,
play there.
yeah, and I think
Yeah.
playing there in the way he did it became a political thing. And no matter which side you're on, I think as an artist, you don't want to be in that space.
No, no,
You
no.
want to. So I would definitely think twice
To be
about
honest,
doing something
if
like
I
that.
mean, if I look at politics right now, man, even now talking about a little bit about politics gives me a bad feeling. I
Yeah, and
don't
it's
like the
not.
way politics are dealt with, whichever side it is. They're all the same. Politicians, not my favorite kind
Yeah,
of
and I think
people.
as artists, we're here to distract from the daily life and the politicians. We're here to entertain,
Yeah.
basically. And I
But
think
then North Korea, which play.
yeah, I don't know. It almost is the same. Like it becomes a political thing. It
Yeah.
becomes a news item that you're the first DJ there or something. So it will be
I
political.
I
so
always
it's,
learned that as a brand, you kind of want to stay away from political decisions because that's too polarizing in a kind of way.
But on the
Uh,
other hand, if it's the people of North Korea, I mean, they're not
yeah, true.
they're also like in our eyes victims. I
Yeah.
mean, if we can give them a cool day of cool music,
EDM
yeah,
beats.
EDM
Yeah.
beats, yeah, why
Yeah.
not? I mean, there's no harm in that. But yeah, it's of course if a regime that has a lot of stuff on their
Yeah.
yeah
Anyways, the
backs,
I'm
yeah.
just looking at the post right now, but it went very viral.
It went very viral,
Uh,
and Dead Mouse was really
That mouse
like
was
woof,
ruthless.
ruthless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and if
yeah,
I
yeah,
look at
yeah.
it, like the Root also commented, like a lot of people commented on this, and it's I don't know, like the way how I'll just tell you what he says. Like playing Starlight Ball was not on my 2025 bingo card, but I mean, wow, what an honor! I was so nervous and only got to play for 30 minutes, but holy shit, achievement unlocked. And then there's like a whole other part. So yeah,
Yeah, that mouse went full crazy on him.
yeah,
I thought that was kind of funny.
that is Dead Mouse
Um,
though, like completely
yeah, it's that mouse, and
smart
he. But
move.
that mouse really said like, and that's something that I also kind of agree with. No one there really knows who you are.
Yeah,
That's what I mean with it's not really a DJ thing. It's not the
No,
crowd that cares about who's playing the music up there.
yeah.
So yeah, that's where I agreed with him with that mouse, and
you wow,
yeah, I
you're
agree,
friends
dude.
again.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, hit me up, man. Call up.
I must say it's a smart move from him again, as in everyone talked about it. He's a marketing genius in that way. As in
yes,
he
Yeah,
just knows when to reply and what to reply and to
yeah,
get on people's nerves in some kind
yeah.
of way.
I have to say there was one thing on Reddit I saw on the Reddit EDM where someone didn't like Blau playing there, so he said like, "Yeah, I remember that we played there. I at least played there for free or something." That another DJ said, and then Blau responded like, "Oh well, I remember you asking me for financial advice when your touring was a little bit less. So
On
let's.
that
I'm not
mouse.
gonna disclose those comments." No, Blau said that to him.
Oh.
So kind of like being like, "Oh, because I'm financially well off, I'm doing better,"
Ah.
and that really struck like that. I am like, "Oh, I'm so not on Blau's side on this one."
Yeah.
Yeah, there's on Reddit EDM. It's pretty viral on that Reddit.
yeah. You
But
know, you also got to be like modest about the position you're in. To be honest, if someone would have called Bassjackers, I mean, nobody cares about us. The people there at the inauguration, they would only know Taylor Swift. They would only know the bigger
yeah,
ones.
Oh.
I mean, if we play there, it's because it's no more or less than a friend of mine being asked to play
Yeah.
at the birthday of my son. You know,
Like
it's
background
not on
music.
merit,
Yeah.
and I mean, we would be way out of place. So, but would we play it? Yeah, maybe yes. It's still the president of the United States. He's an elected official in that respect. Why not? But it's again, how are you gonna bring it? And maybe it's in the achievement unlocked comment that kind of starts people
yeah,
because yeah, there's no real achievement
achievement.
in
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And
yeah. And
but
also
still,
making
again, I also can get that he's proud if when he's a supporter. I mean, it's again the president of the United States of America. Yeah, it's also something I also get him, so I'm a little bit
Yeah.
in between. But yeah,
Yeah. Rentrey
strategically, it's not really the smartest move.
in the comments, Rentrey also says there's no need to take any sides, just YOLO. Yeah. And Ferry G has a good comment. Where are the artists coaching Plopkapper?
oh yeah.
Dude,
Again, forgot it. Yeah, so they're in the office.
En in Tilburg.
Yeah, we have to.
In Tilburg
So-
en weer in Goorlen. So
if
Yeah.
there's somebody to replace Joey, you
Please,
can
please do.
reach us on this
Yeah.
telephone number right here.
Let me add that to the list. That's a good point. We need to make a list of things that need to be
Replaced.
Yeah.
placed, added, ordered.
But
whatever.
to all or a lot of artists, beginning artists, stay away from politics because it's very hard to even choose a side in general already.
You can never
And
do good.
if you post something in 10 years, they will find it. And if you don't agree with that anymore, it's still online.
Yeah.
Be careful of the internet. But I'm a boomer, so it's also like
Yeah.
that's what they would say to us.
Let's go to the other topic, which we briefly talked about in our private chat, which was about the underground music going viral these days. You discovered the track?
Did I?
Yeah, you send.
Oh no,
Yeah.
just there's well, it's just in general.
Mhm.
It was more of a, hey, another one. There's a track
Khaled.
on TikTok which is like, it's not even a track. It's actually a part of a track.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one. Of a producer made a track, and then he made out of that track like a alternative kind of like just the chords sounding very rough. And I think he calls it also the raw edit. And that then was used under some kind of snowboard video or whatever. And then it blew up, and now it's going like viral on TikTok.
Mhm.
And to me, that's just another example of how interesting that is. Like, it's like stuff like that blows up, and labels are always trying to tell you, so you should be wary of that. Labels are always trying to tell you, yeah, we need you on TikTok, you need to get your pop music heard or whatever, and then something very alternative blows up. And that's so cool because there's so much space for that kind of stuff, so you can literally make whatever, and it has the chance to blow up, which is just
Yeah,
a
and
cool thing.
and that's why I am always saying that I do believe that for a music producer, this is kind of the best time ever, because as an independent, you have a lot of opportunities. It's
I think
tough.
2010, from then on till like
You know,
2016.
maybe
Was it though?
creatively, it's a nice time to
Yeah.
be alive, and a lot goes, a lot gets consummated and consumed, and people tend to like all different kind of styles. Whereas, let's say in 2010, everybody liked like basically two styles: big room
Yeah.
and progressive house. Yeah,
Yeah, and you had to go through a label, so you need to first had to get to be able
yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
listened by a label, then get
Well,
accepted. Like,
if you ask me, like, what were like pivotal moments in the whole EDM history, was like, I think end of the 2000s, like
mm,
2008, 2009, the emergence of YouTube came, and that really started that people could search for music that they liked on their own. They
Yeah,
weren't
that
dependent
wasn't
on
released. Yeah.
no, and they weren't
Yeah.
dependent on radio stations or like the Pirate Bay or Napster or whatever. And but for not every people use torrents, but then it like really got easy that people could take control. And that's what spurred like this emergence of a lot of artists, and technological advancement was also really there in the dance industry, that we could make easily music that before you had to have a
Big
studio of like
studio. Yeah.
$1,100,
technology just makes things easier and cheaper.
$100,000. That's the way.
Yeah.
And then, but now, and then you got to Spotify in like the emergence was like 2015, 16, and then the musical landscape kind of changed, but
Mhm.
nothing much really different. But now, with the emergence of TikTok and Reels and
Yep.
all that kind of YouTube Shorts, whatever, like people are consuming music in such a different manner.
Yeah.
Me as well. Some records I don't even know I just know 30 seconds of that record.
I'm in this funnel, content funnel that it's just I don't even know which like page it is, but it posts every time it's the same picture, like just a drawn picture, and it says if you like this kind of music, you probably like this as too, and then you can just swipe to the right like a
Yeah.
carousel, and that just gets me every time. And every time there's one or two songs in there which I search on YouTube because I just think like this is
Yeah.
exactly what
Yeah.
I like, you know. So
It's
But now you also see the re-emergence of a lot of new artists.
Mhm.
Like the if for me it's kind of going back to the end of the 2000s. If I see all the new
yeah.
artists, if I
Mhm.
now see all the main stages filled for the festivals this summer,
yeah,
it's a lot of new artists that weren't there 2 years
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
and they
that's
weren't
true.
there at all before
You
COVID.
see
Yeah, that's
how
true.
you see journeys of some people that you follow,
Mm.
and they literally blow up within 2 years,
They
and they
literally
just
blow
by
up in a
posting
half a
their
year.
stuff on a
Yeah,
TikTok. And I
yeah.
think that's like when
Yeah.
Avicii came up. I think Levels was posted on his SoundCloud, and people, regular non-DJ people, friends of mine, were already like, Avicii with this track
Yeah.
ID, and they said, yeah, his that track name is ID because it was
Yeah, it's
set as an
Nah.
ID, and I was like, no, but that's and then
Yeah.
I didn't bother explaining because they were like, that's
Yeah.
ID. It became Levels. And that's happening now again, where people just, hey, I'm just, instead of waiting for the label, of trying to get the label who maybe can't do much for you anyways, hey, I'm going to post it myself
Yeah.
and gain traction. And sometimes then
Labels now are on a totally
stuff blows up.
different agenda than you are as an artist, and
What's the
because
They,
difference?
well, they want stuff that's gonna be played on Spotify a lot. and
because
get the
they make
royalties.
radio,
because they make money
Yeah.
or royalties.
And a radio
Yeah.
if you can get it. But for you as an artist, that's not how you get famous anymore.
No.
You get famous if when people consume your music on Reels, TikTok, and whatever.
Yeah.
And also can go hand in hand, but the conversion rate from TikTok to Spotify is not always there. You can have like tens of millions, hundreds of millions of streams on TikTok, and then like a few million on Spotify. Like not all people tend to
Yeah.
search for or want to listen to that whole thing,
Yeah.
but they do want to see you.
Yeah.
And we noticed last time we were playing in Prague 1.5 week ago, and people were really asking for the alarm clock song.
Because they know the clip.
They know the clip, and when Marlon
Yeah.
played it at the end of his set, like people went berserk.
They
It was
finally
really
woke
fun.
up.
They finally woke up. No, but that's what they were there for.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then we also
That's
noticed,
amazing.
like, normally Marlon only plays, but then I was there to see it from the sideline, and I said to Marlon, dude, we gotta do something with that. We gotta like tease that record more early in the set
Mhm.
because people are really
Yeah,
waiting for it.
yeah,
How
yeah.
cool would that be? You
Because it's
know,
a thing.
That's
now, yeah.
that's
It's
just
a
great
thing,
to hear,
yeah.
man. That's the times we missed a little bit. Where I think
Mhm.
2013, 14, when was just coming up, that was the thing. You had a new track, and people
Yeah.
were waiting and went crazy when you
Yeah, you're
played it.
building the hype,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that kind of disappeared a little bit.
Yeah.
That kind of crowd as well, and now it's great to hear that that's
Now that
coming
you're
back.
talking about it, do you know this guy Avayon?
Dude, that thing is going mad. Yeah.
Well, this guy, honestly, I've had him in the artist coaching podcast 2 times, I guess. Super nice guy, like super nice
Mm.
guy. I've had him before his big hit and after his big hit,
It's a great track.
and now he released another song. But I was somehow I came by his content on TikTok, which was about his new track, Wakanda or something.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know the Mamakanda or Mamakana. Yeah, yeah.
I saw, but like weeks, maybe even months ago, I saw the first clip of. It wasn't even him playing, I guess. It was someone else, just like raw footage from a club.
Yeah.
And I heard that song. I was like, what the? I need to know what track this is. And then it said in the comments, like, it's a new Avayon song.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it just came back in my algorithm.
I see it in a lot of like snowboarding
Yeah.
clips or people
Yeah.
partying in like the Alps or something, and then I always see that number because it's like this moody. It has the right kind of
It
vibe.
has the right kind of
Yeah.
vibe. And I just kept seeing clips of different settings, but with Avayon playing. And constantly there was like, wait until this song gets out, or just 2 weeks to go until it gets released. And I was like, just get it out there.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah,
I want to get it on my
Yeah,
Spotify.
yeah.
So that now that I'm thinking about it, that's exactly as 2012, 14,
Yeah.
where people really built the hype,
Yeah.
kept feeding.
But it's also different kind of music that gets
Yeah.
different kind of goals, because this is obviously also a track you can vibe, dance to,
Yeah.
but also listen to it in your car and
Yeah.
totally
if you
drift
haven't
away.
if you haven't checked it yet, let me check up the title. Avayon Wakuka.
Wakuka.
Yeah,
I get that is that the one really? Yeah.
Wakuka, yeah. And
Okay.
the one we were talking, Wakunda, is an older one from Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike.
Wakanda.
Wakanda.
Wakanda is of course
The
of
movie.
a Marvel.
Yeah.
But no, the thing is like the harder styles, they are get a lot of traction as well. But people don't really tend to go to. There's a lot less incentive to go to Spotify for that. That's stuff you want to experience more.
That's was always the case with Big Room as well. People
Yeah.
wanted to hear that out, but that was cool about then as well, because DJs would want to ask you for this
Yeah, for the promo.
for the promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's coming back, but the hype of the crowd, and they already know so much about releases from certain artists, or like I even have it now with like I tease this bootleg I made of the Killers Human, just progressive, which so this year might be a good year to release it.
Progressive is back, ladies. and
Progressive is
gentlemen.
going
Progressive
back.
is
I
back.
always find it that's a different
Full
thing. I always
circle.
find those quotes funny. Oh, this is coming back, that's coming back. Hey man, it's never left. But then people are like, in my comments, there was one guy who commented like, yeah, I've been waiting for it since March 2023 when you played it in your Slam FM live set.
Oh wow.
And I was like, oh wow. Then
Yeah.
and
Sick.
that's one person who's already so much waiting for that song. That gives like Yeah, that's
He has
if
done
it's you
nothing
that
else
commented
anymore.
it.
He's just been
No, but
sitting
like
and
if
waiting.
if you're the person who posted that, that's the stuff that as a producer is such a
Yeah,
cool
definitely.
thing to read. It's one comment, and I don't even care if you're the only one that knows the record. That gives me
I do from time to
the
time
how do you say
respond to those things.
yeah, I respond, but
Yeah,
I that gives me
The willpower.
a
yeah,
push again
yeah.
for I should finish that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's so
The
important
motivation.
Yeah,
to
to be
comment.
honest, sometimes
Keep me
uh,
going.
Like, subscribe. No, but I genuinely appreciate those kind of
Yeah,
comments. It's
yeah,
really
no,
what gives me
it's really
fire
cool.
in the
Yeah.
studio.
yeah. I can imagine.
Fire.
But there are
Fire
tracks
in the
that will
studio.
never come out, and then I see
Fire.
people requesting it all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I also say, "Dude, hey, it's never coming." Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they do
Well,
like
I
this.
actually Josh asked because Josh always listens to a podcast. He's probably has a question
I
this
Josh.
week
haven't
as
seen
well.
him yet, so
I don't know if he's there,
Dude,
I haven't seen him yet. No.
but I made a bootleg of Bad Dreams by Teddy Swims. It's not online yet, but
oh,
um,
plug.
but he's like, hey, can you send it? And I trust the guy, so I just sent it to him. It's not even finished yet. So yeah, I will. To some people, I really, really trust.
Okay.
Send that
It's
stuff,
like the
but you're
old
always
school.
trying to get an official release. And if that
Yeah.
doesn't work, you're gonna look into other ways. But
Yeah, but it's really like you said. Now I'm kind of realizing it. It's kind of how it started back then as well. It's like going into the trenches, finding those edits that no one really has, finding those
yeah,
releases that no one really find out
I
about.
think Teddy Swims will be a hard copyright, but
Yeah, Teddy Swims. But if you think about the Wakuka song, for example, like yeah, it's really
yeah.
the
The
same
only
thing.
hope I have is that Teddy Swims, if you're listening, by the way,
he's listening.
he
Teddy.
used to do top lines for Armin van Buuren and stuff. So
Oh,
he
really?
used to like be a bit in the EDM space. So
Okay.
that's my only hope that maybe he hears it somewhere.
Yeah,
But we're of course contacting the official label and trying to go the official route. And
yeah, you should,
we'll see.
especially with newer copyrights. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Also, SoundCloud, you can't even privately upload it. Like, I wanted to send it to my manager. She's like, I prefer SoundCloud, so I upload it. I text her right after, like 1 second. It's uploaded now. Here's the link, and then I get an email.
Bam.
It's been deleted. So I'm like, never mind.
that escalated quickly.
Was it within
Yeah.
1 minute? Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go to the clip of the week. I have to share it. Let's see.
I
how
can't
this-
see it.
No, you only have to hear it. Share.
He said, "What do you mean you don't know?" He said, "Well, I just put it on
Wait.
Spotify."
Just a second. Oh fuck.
Well, yeah, what kind of artists? And what he
So
said
professional.
next shocked me to my core. I said, "What artists?" And he said, "I don't know." He said, "What do you mean you don't know?" He said, "Well, I just put it on Spotify, put a playlist on chill hip hop." You don't know the bands you like. That's the death of culture, isn't it? What kind of books do you read? Oh, I like Helvetica mostly.
We just addressed this.
Well, what this is about?
Some
we-
boomer comedian, I guess.
No, we kind of addressed it, but what I would think was interesting is he mentions like a person listening to music, and he says my favorite genre is chill hop of chill hip hop, and then he asks like, oh, who's your favorite artist? And then he says like, I don't know. Like I just go to Spotify and click chill hip hop, and I like what I hear. That's it. And that kind of clicked with me because last week I also found out about a book which I shared in the Discord as well. For those-
Helvetica.
now, a book which is called Mood Machine by Liz Pelly. And let's see what the subtitle was very interesting to me because that's also about how Spotify kind of the subtitle was The Rise of Spotify and the Cost of the Perfect Playlist. So how labels and Spotify kind of decide on what we consume and what we listen to. And I was also thinking about it last week with my own kids. I was like, at home as well, when we listen to music, I put on a playlist as well, mostly, or sometimes radio, but not that much anymore because there's a lot of commercials. But I was thinking the same, like they never discover any real new music, as in, if I listen to those playlists, it's all algorithmic based. So it's the same songs. Doesn't matter which playlist you take.
It's like
They
I
keep
said,
putting in the same songs.
it's what I said. I think I said this last week. Instagram and the algorithms and Spotify. It's like a bad DJ, and they just play what you already know.
Yeah. You kind of
And
get into this
but
loop.
I think what we just talked about is a good thing that's now happening. That people are searching for those things that aren't in there.
Yeah.
Because I have
Sometimes
to
it's
say,
actually convenient.
I get tired of my own playlist on
Me too.
Spotify, but also because the random isn't really random. That's actually a thing now that people know that.
It's all the same songs, and that's
Because they push the songs that are more popular more often in your random
yeah.
playlist, which is annoying because sometimes I find in my own playlist a song that I haven't heard in a while, and I'm like,
Yeah.
huh? So
But that's what I realized with my own kids, as in, I actively have to put on new music to kind of have them be aware of the fact that there is different music than
Yeah.
the ones that we listen to each day. Right?
Oh, in my car they just ask for snowballs. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no chance for new music, and they
No,
hate
but
techno.
it just made me think, like, it's pretty weird how people kind of grow up these days. If you're not aware of how this works, you
Yeah.
just listen to the
has
same
always
100 songs.
always has been that way. I mean, if you like before put on radio, there was
Yeah.
also the same playlist like
Yeah,
all
but
day
that
long.
kind of kept evolving, right? So I am
Yeah.
listening to songs of the 70s or
Yeah, but
feel-
still,
I
yeah,
do
you
feel
still
like
have the usual
some-
suspects there as well that came by
Yeah.
more often than the others.
some radio stations used to be a bit more pushing of new talent. I remember
True.
in Holland you
Yeah.
had 3FM
They
who
were
used
okay,
to push new bands and like
Definitely.
weird songs which made Fake Blood with Mars
they were like
Yeah.
blow up here in Holland
were like
because
indie.
3FM was like one of these was like I like this song and it
They actually
became like
played
big.
Skeletons then when the
Yeah,
Glass
when
House,
the- yeah.
was there.
But 3FM was like indie, as in they always looked for like the smaller coming
Yeah.
up artists, and a lot of them blew
But
up.
also
actually.
they started to conform when they were losing market share,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I mean
true.
that's the eventual incentive always there, and Spotify will probably differ, but it's also convenient from times because when I'm working out and I want to listen to the same shit, I just press radio on a certain track. Let's say something of
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit because I like to work out on that, and then it pops up. But also sometimes I remember the old days when I was in my car and I put a CD on. Then I also would listen to all those B sides on a CD, and you would get to know an artist so much better and get to appreciate a lot of different tracks.
Yeah.
But
think-
now, yeah, you only listen to the top tracks of artists. So what I now sometimes do, because I like those playlists, this is Limp Bizkit, and then you get the lesser gods of a repertoire as
But
well.
this is actually all this is such good news for DJ culture because
Yeah.
now I'm excited and I've always been, but for maybe the mainstream, it's more exciting now to go see a DJ or to watch the live set because hey, they're gonna play stuff that isn't out yet, and that's now again
Yeah.
where the gold mine is.
Yeah,
I
so
also
people
feel like live sets are increasing in popularity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so overall, people are becoming more curious to new stuff instead of.
Yeah, I think
the
I feel
run-on
like
stuff.
you feel a bit like a robot if you're only on your own Spotify and now you
Yeah.
want to. That's why that weird song on TikTok and stuff like that blows up because people are like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And they're gonna explore and they find out the artist and
It's actually someone Rentrey comments the question: when is fidget coming back? It's actually a good moment. Might be a good moment to get started working on that. To
We
pick your-
started a little bit
to get your own
during
niche.
the. That's why we're called Bassjackers. You know, that's the checking sound was during the fidget.
kind of started back
yeah,
then, yeah. And
we had
Mighty
Jamie
Fools.
Fanatic back then, but don't know where he
Oh,
is now.
Jamie
Yeah,
Fanatic, yeah.
he played Fidget House, and people weren't actually waiting for that in Holland.
It's true.
And then sometimes you would have several rooms where DJs would play, and when you would play behind Jamie Fanatic, sometimes it was just not a match. He shouldn't have been booked for a certain crowd. Wasn't his fault because he was a good Fidget House DJ. But then we had the phrase like, "Oh, I've been Jamie Fanatic" when the whole room was emptied out before you. It's kind of mean.
Jamie
Yeah, that's
Fanatic.
very
Yeah. But you
Not
know,
sure,
we had all these big room and progressive house acts playing Nope's Dope, and then you had Jamie Fanatic who played Fidget House. But yeah, that was just such an odd one out.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
A bit too early, maybe, because Mighty
Yeah.
Fools broke through on that sound.
Yeah, but they were less fidget than Jamie Fanatic. They
Okay.
kind of got in that niche sound where they could make that bridge.
yeah, and I think also that like I wouldn't say they're like a fidget house act.
no,
They
Like
have some
Fools.
influences,
Yeah.
but like, and that's the key as well.
Yeah.
If you like go too much into a sound, it's amazing if you love that. But if you have acts, and then I'll just say like Matisse and Satko and Third Party, they have a very specific sound, amazing sound. But it's very like if they can go very much outside of
Yeah.
that, they can. But fans will be like, that's not your
It's
sound.
hard to get rid of.
Yeah, and I always tried for me
Yeah, it's a tough spot to
to
be in.
not be so much in one corner, because I also think if you ask what is the J Hardway sound, it's not one sound per se. And I just love that I have that freedom and always pushed for other stuff in my releases as well.
Yeah.
So you have to be aware of that as well, I think.
Yeah, that's
if you're-
true. Community questions. The good news is I have built 2 new how do you call them? Jingles this week.
Well, let's listen to them.
Yeah, let's
Is that the
start with
first?
that.
Is that the first question?
No, that's not the first question. I have 2.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Okay. Ish.
And this one.
Knowledge bomb.
Knowledge bomb.
Knowledge bomb.
No.
Community questions is
Yeah.
is the
Yeah,
shit,
yeah, yeah.
man.
It's just hard to top.
The knowledge
That's the
bomb. The
problem.
knowledge bomb is the pronunciation is.
And
a bit,
you use Suno for
difficult.
this.
Yeah.
Suno is amazing.
It's
though.
sick.
Yeah.
It's very sick how that works. Anyway, community questions.
We're gonna
We,
do more with Suno this year.
Yeah, it's amazing
if we're
how that
talking about
works.
bingo cards, that's one of them.
I can imagine. Quite a few questions again. So thanks for everyone sending them in. For those who are listening or watching right now,
Is Josh already here, or
he's
With
not
with
here.
25
What?
minutes, is
Yeah.
something wrong with is
Josh?
not-
Are you okay?
Are you
okay?
okay, Josh?
If you're listening,
Sign
send
of life.
sign of life.
Yeah.
No, but we thanks for sending in all the questions. For those who listen right now, you can send in your questions during the whole week in our Discord server. It should be in the description of this episode. It's our community where you can send in the questions every week, and where every week we discuss those questions in this podcast. So let's just start.
And by the way,
beginning.
if you're listening right now, make sure to give us a thumbs up, comment, or leave anything by. Share it with
All those
with
cameras.
all the plants. Dogs pee against the plants, so the plants need to tell the dogs that pee against the plants. Tell those dogs tell it to their owners, and they spread it with their
And we don't like
Kin.
industry plants.
the fake
Industry
plants,
Industry plants.
fake
industry
plastic
plant.
trees. That's a really
You
amazing.
know what
song.
an industry plant
Do you
is,
know
right?
the song "Fake Plastic Trees"?
Do you know what an industry plant is?
No, somebody who's in an industry and works there.
Planted by the industry. It's like some actors are accused
Oh.
of this, and some musicians as well.
Like Nepo babies.
Also, bomen zijn relaxed. Do you know that song?
No,
Oh,
It's Dutch pop culture, man.
I'll check
but
it.
do you know "Fake Plastic Trees"?
We have a question
It's
from.
Radiohead. It's one of their
Oh, really?
top 5 tracks.
We have a question from Melodramatic. What is
Hey.
the best way to go about getting clearance for vocals for a song through the right channels, especially if it's something you've always wanted to do?
I mean, "Fuck the Suits" is cleared. Here you go. You can do that, but
Yeah, but that's
no,
that's from him.
you got to go through the publishers. Yeah.
Yeah, so reach out to. But I think
Yeah.
I talked to him and I recall him going to the website, and there's this section where you can kind of do the whole process, and it's intense.
Man,
as
it's
in,
such an hassle. But
Yeah.
I mean, try to
Basically-
just for now release it as bootleg.
Basically, you got to know someone who knows someone, and
Most
then
of the
still
time.
it's very difficult.
so that would be a tip. Like first release it as a bootleg, and then
Well, you know,
take
for
it from
this matters, you should have either a really good manager that knows that shit, but not all managers do, because most managers are basically pointless.
wait. No, this is
No,
where
that's not
we
one.
should have the
This
knobs.
is like, okay, I'm filleting somebody, or like a whole group of people. No,
Knowledge bomb.
No, it's not.
yeah,
it's-
no,
it's
this is
not even a
not the
knowledge
right
bomb.
thing, man.
Also, the pronunciation of knowledge bomb isn't clear enough on that
Okay.
No,
jingle.
and furthermore,
Some honest feedback.
that's what you have publishers for. So you send it to your publisher; they know where a certain track is published. If it's published on, let's say, 3 certain publishers, forget it. It won't even.
Don't forget it, but like you just
No,
accept that it
Yeah,
might
it's
take
too
years,
hard.
and
yeah,
it,
yeah, it's too
but
hard.
don't not try. I mean, always
So
try.
for Melodramatic or anybody in his position, just try to work your way up through bootlegs, try to gain some momentum, and
Yeah.
then go to a publisher, make them pay a little bit of money, let's say 10 grand as an advance. start releasing
But
your
that's
original music, and then you can ask them to clear stuff.
yeah, and what happens now is you can post stuff on TikTok, your bootleg. If it goes viral, keep posting. Then a label can be at all of a sudden interested, and then doors
Mm.
open.
Yeah, so use it as a
Um,
test pool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
and
do it as well,
it's very
right?
difficult
Yeah.
to go viral. But if you like, there's been instances over the last years where a remix, I think one Ellie Goulding remix,
I don't know,
something
but
went like viral, and then got an
and it's
official
also
release,
yeah.
and this
But
happens a lot.
if you want to use the master um, of another track, man, that's so hard to clear. And it's so you should basically always try to have cover versions. There is a way to get that more easily. That's a website called karaoke-version.com. You can buy a
Somebody,
license there.
Somebody mentioned that
Yeah,
you can use karaoke websites for vocals without strikes.
definitely. Yeah, and that's the cover version, and then you can upload it as a full cover, so you don't take any publishing. Yeah.
Sick how that goes.
No, it's not sick at all because you know you
No,
have
but it's
countless
amazing
of
that it's an
tracks.
opportunity these times.
No, but you have
know.
countless of tracks like people doing an acoustic version of, let's say, a track by Katy Perry, and make it more mellow. Haha, hey, there's that one. But no, so that's already a business. But it also goes for electronic music. But the catch there is that they actually want you to also follow the exact arrangement. And for dance music, that's pretty hard when it's a vocal track. You don't want to use all the verses, the bridge, and whatsoever pre-chorus, and maybe you only want to use the chorus. You want to like flip the whole thing. But still, that's a gray area. Just upload it. In recent history, the worst thing that can happen then is that you have to take it offline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, or give away the income that you might have got from it.
definitely
you-
that could also
yeah.
be, but most of the time that's not even a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Question from Ferry G, who I believe is a relatively new member in the community, but he's very active. So thanks for that.
Also, the knowledge, I'm just telling you that kind of stuff. A lot of the artists don't even know this.
No, exactly.
Like even when I took Marlon, sometimes ask me stuff like, dude, by now you should
You
know
should
that.
know,
I
yeah.
mean, he has other concerns, so I get it that he's not up to date for everything, but those are the loopholes. And
It's true.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure, like, yeah, and karaoke-version.com, you gotta buy a license there. It's costly, but then you do have like a big library of stuff you can take. The vocals sometimes are actually really good.
Is it AI or
And
is it actually?
no, it's just really sung.
Covers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then also what you can do if you get a license from Automie, you can take those vocals, upload them to Automie, and get a whole different voice. That's also really cool. Something we do quite a lot. And
Cool.
yeah,
Good tip.
and you don't want to use the master outtakes and put them through Automie because let's say in the event you make a really big track and they're going to say, where did you get the vocal from? Well, it's AI, but still, when you use the original outtakes, the master recording,
Mhm.
if you used it, you can only derive that vocal from using the master. So,
Gray
but
area.
Tricky. Yeah.
yeah, so
Like sampling a cake.
there are no rulings on that yet, but you got to stay away from that kind of shit. You don't want to be made an example of. And but those are the loopholes.
Then
You
again,
can,
if you have
yeah.
such a big hit that it becomes such a problem,
Well, no, but probably then the label is thinking, hey, it's a big hit,
Yep.
money, and then they go on board, and you can make a good deal. You will never get worse off. But there are some times like good tracks they get taken offline. Sometimes they do well, and yeah, like the original copyright holder isn't just too fond of remakes. Yeah.
Yeah. True. Okay, let's go to the question from Ferry G. He says, back in the day, there was dance fair in Utrecht,
Oh,
a
yeah.
fair with workshops from DJs, producers. If the community gets large enough, would you consider an event for community members? Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Like we have the
To
we
be
have,
honest, that's the dream.
yeah, we have
Yeah.
the Amsterdam Dance event on a yearly base, and
Mm.
it would be nice to expand those things. I must say, I kind of miss things like dance fair because you only have Amsterdam Dance event
Dance Fair was
nowadays.
really good.
That's
That
why
was
it's
really
really
big,
nice.
like,
Yeah,
But
that was
huge.
big.
the guy who built it and was organizing it died.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, passed away on an early
Died.
age. So yeah, that's why it stopped. But there is a hole to fill, I would say, as in
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe in a different form. I mean, it's a little bit less popular or a little less of a novelty, but there is definitely something there, and I think it would be really cool.
maybe not that
yeah.
big, a bit smaller. But I think
Yeah.
you can definitely get a
I
thousand
wonder
people.
how you need a big producer community, and I think that is big, but not as like gathered. So it's really hard to get all those
Yeah.
people informed and
There
and
are a
physically
lot of-
somewhere, because that's a lot of effort.
That's a lot of effort. But there
These
are a
days.
lot of like music
For the
producers
new
schools.
generation, like it's
Yeah, but I think there's also
you have to take the train to Utrecht, and
I think people also
If you
kind
say
of
that to
want.
me, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna bother. Yeah,
I think people also want to have like physical contact with
dude,
people.
it's so important.
I
mean,
saw
yeah.
I heard a podcast, and Mark Zuckerberg said the weirdest thing. He was talking about, like, in the future, you can just with your fingers send an email or something with your neural link to your
Yeah.
brain, and then you can even have it in real life. And then there was a Joe Rogan podcast, and then Joe Rogan said,
Like a
yeah,
letter.
so but then people are even more disconnected. No, because then instead of you go to your screen, it's just while you're having the conversation, you're sending an email as well. And I'm like,
Huh?
that's just.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
But so I agree, like real
He
stuff,
wants to
life-
turn
real
us
meetings.
into robots.
I think real life
Sounded like
events will, at least for a long time, will be a thing. And I think the more digital we get, the more the
Yeah, it
urge.
could be cool to investigate, and there are
I-
several more.
what you're saying now-
good ideas are always welcome. Community, Ferry G, let's go, man.
The thing you're saying now is such a big thing. The more digital we get,
Yeah.
the urge to get really out there gets bigger.
That's why.
That's
I
what
think,
I also think with the algorithms for your playlist.
Yeah.
The more you're sent into this algorithm of a certain type of songs, the more you want like some real stuff you discovered yourself. It's like
That's why I
embedded
think
in humans.
that's why I think music festivals are not going anywhere. You know, like people always want to experience it, the real thing. Like, sure, it's nice to watch the content, but eventually you want to experience the real thing.
Yeah.
You want to schuur.
You want to schuren.
Is slower?
Schuren.
slow,
Well,
slow,
schuren, it's
schuren,
Dutch for dancing against the girl.
Yeah.
With consent.
Well, yeah,
This is
huge one.
this is a question from Steph from Steph
Well,
Kevlar.
yeah, it's a thing, you know. Yeah, when
Yeah,
I
it's
was
a thing. I still schuren every now and then. It's a confession.
okay,
Yeah,
just at home, or
not only at home.
okay,
No.
not at home.
No,
Does your wife know?
Only when his wife's at
she's
home.
she's normally with me.
Okay,
only
okay,
when
yeah, I
his
don't
wife's
know.
at
Okay,
home and
hey.
he's out.
Hey,
out
everything
and
goes
about and,
nowadays, man. I mean,
she
if we-
loves that music, like the Dutch
Oh, yeah?
reggaeton kind of, how you want to describe it, like
Schuur
I like the
music.
reggaeton.
schuur
Yeah.
music. Yeah, that's how I call it. Yeah.
Bad Bunny.
Bad
Ah,
Bunny.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
Is she a
Question-
bad bunny?
Steph Kevlar. Long question, but I'll just try to
Summarize it.
Summarize
Summarize
it. He's a software engineer that has a job during the day, a 9 to 5, and he really struggles to find that balance to pursue his journey into music. He does his job, and it's like that makes him financially safe, but he really feels the urge to kind of work on his music. So he ends with this. FFS knowledge of me. Yeah, he really has the craves to do music production, and also pursue the dream, but also kind of wants that safety net, you could say. Is there a question in here?
Just a statement.
Approach.
Congrats, bro.
Yeah, you
no,
might as
here's
well
the
just
question.
read it in total,
No, here's
but
the
okay.
question. How do you guys think is the potentially most optimal approach to pursue that music journey? I think this always goes back to the same answer, as in that's very personal. You should just figure out.
Oh, that's the camera.
That's one of the cameras.
Wow, we're so professional.
Anyway, you should check if the image is good like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should check on the screen. I'm not sure. But anyway, I think it always comes down to how much time can you actually spend on music. And there's also this thing as real life. Yes, you have to work. Yes, you have to make money. And yes, that takes time. and all the time you have left, that's what you have to do it with. You have to figure out a way
Yeah.
to make that work.
I like what, and I think Ralph will like this as well. What Toto Wolff said about his career, and he said he always took calculated risks. So there's big choices in life. So is he gonna quit his job or work part time to pursue music? But you should always ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen,
Yeah.
and are you able to live with that if you make this choice? So the worst case scenario, if that's the case, then why not try it?
Yeah.
And I think that's in general with choices a good thing to think always. It could go wrong, but what is the worst that could go wrong?
Yeah. I
And a
totally
lot
agree.
of times,
Yeah.
the worst is not that bad, or you wouldn't imagine
Yeah.
that bad.
Toto and me could be such good friends.
Best
man.
friends.
Yeah, well, I kind of adore the guy. He's a wise dude, and
Yeah,
but
I
that's
respect him,
totally
from what
true.
I
And
see from him.
I don't know the situation we're talking about. I mean, if you have a wife and kids at home, I mean, please
That's
take in.
actually another question from someone else who says it's kind of the same topic, and he mentions in the weekends I can make time for 8 hours, but I do have to say the more I work, the more work I put into my career, the crappier my relationships with my girlfriend, kids, and friends.
Oh,
How
yeah.
to make
Yeah,
maximum
that's
impact? Yeah,
that's first, family first. Like,
Well, yeah, maybe not. I mean, we're all
yeah, well,
different,
yeah,
but yeah, I would tend to say also, well, your kids are really important, and the relationship and the home you to give them, and also it kind of doesn't matter. The more there's not such a big correlation between putting in more time and getting results. That correlation is there, yes, but it's not so obvious, and not in all cases really a big significant factor. And you should also, it's in the end it's a hobby, and of course you can call it a passion or whatever, but it's just something that you like to do regardless.
true.
And
so you're gonna do it.
yeah.
You're gonna have to make time for that
Hey, but
anyways.
you, me, you, we all started with side jobs, with
Yep.
college, with whatever. And to be honest, before I let that go,
Took a while.
man, and for me, I was in a whole
Yeah.
different situation. I could just, my mom and dad lived in Spain for most of the part. I could easily live at home and have my freedom,
Yeah.
How relaxed is that? And if I wouldn't have had that, things might have been different.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's,
Yeah,
yeah.
and important thing to realize, I think, from all the interviews I've ever seen with old people, they will never hope they were more successful or worked more.
No.
It's always, I wish I spent more time with my family, and if they could change anything from any interview I've ever seen or read, it's always that. It's just something to keep that in
Yeah, but
It's
mind.
also
the basic
remember,
things in life. It's
Yeah,
always the most important things are the things we take
simple
most for
things.
granted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Even Diplo made a post about, like, I saw today actually that post. Very humble guy. Uh, about, I've been everywhere. I've been to Antarctica and then this and that. And then he said, but the nicest time I've ever had was with his dad and son, and they were just like ice fishing, something
yeah, yeah.
simple.
Mm.
But then also I thought it was funny because he had someone film it, and then I'm like, who's that filming? And then you rip
Yeah.
out that quote. It's like,
Yeah. But I mean,
but it's such
but
a
it's also
message.
everybody
true
has
thing.
dreams and you want to pursue them, and it takes some sacrifice. But yeah, you gotta be wary of what you sacrifice. I totally agree with the quote you mentioned of Toto Wolff. And if you're in the situation that the worst thing that can happen is that you have to live a year without any money, yeah, fuck it. If you don't need it,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
But
Well,
if you
that's the
do
thing.
need
Like,
it,
yeah.
if your
Mhm.
kids have to go to school or get new clothes, or your wife will run away, yeah, that's something you cannot repair.
Yeah.
And I also think, yeah, if you do music on the side, if it then doesn't happen, there's that correlation of more time, more success. No, forget
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I think you should always worry about the fundamentals first. As in, you want to be healthy, you want to have a good relationship with your girlfriend, with your kids, with your family and friends. And if all those things are fixed, like you have a home, and if all those things are fixed, then you can start thinking about, like, okay, now what? It's
Mhm.
like Maslow period, pyramid. Yeah,
Pyramid.
pyramid.
Period. That's
Period. That's something else.
something
Yeah.
different.
But that's what you should definitely consider. Question from Ben Singh. I make a lot of mashups. How would you suggest the best way to get them in front of big DJs?
Send it to
Email.
them or DM.
Like,
And also,
Yeah.
mashups are nice, but don't hang your career
Yeah.
on it, because
To be honest,
if I hear a nice mashup,
yeah,
I usually don't even ask if it's relatively simple. I usually don't even ask the DJ anymore. I'll just make it myself,
yeah.
and that's
You know, I'm also not that per se. I don't get triggered by mashups at all. Usually, when they get into the mailbox, I have to be, yeah, really honest. It's just instant delete. I don't even
yeah. You have to
listen.
be careful because the quality, is it actually mashups, or am I downloading some kind of?
Yeah, for me, it's also, yeah. I mean, some mashups are really well done, and I probably miss a few there, but yeah,
It's just
it's
not
not
as
so
special
special.
anymore.
No,
I think
no,
it used to be.
it's not so
It
special.
used to
Yeah,
be really cool, and I remember actually Bassjackers would do a lot of like,
yeah.
uh, yeah, kind of like mashup bootleg packs.
Yeah.
But that was
Hardwell
like
as well.
unique. It was, everybody was like, "Whoa, this is those two combined." And now it's kind of like, "Oh, we've done that trick, so you're not." Sorry to the guy, but you're not that cool with your mashups.
You are cool, but
I mean, the mashups are not that special. That's what I'm
no,
trying to say. It's like, yes, a cool mashup,
you
great,
know.
but
But what does work, and that's the because I do see some mashups go. They get a trend on
mhm,
TikTok and
mhm.
whatever, and then I do listen to them. And those, I mean, the really well ones, they just try to hack the system on TikTok and get some
Yeah.
Yeah.
views.
Get the
I
I
mean,
views.
there
mean,
is a
Yeah.
guy who actually released a mashup of
Hype
the
to this,
Veld,
really good for it.
Hyped
the
it, yeah.
Veld of that mouse with cinema, the
Oh.
vocal over it. But it's like, yes, he got an official release, amazing, super happy for the guy. But it's not that special, dude. It's like, it's a
No.
vocal on a record. Anybody with a phone can do that on
But still,
GarageBand.
if you want to ask me, just email, DM, just send it out to everybody
Yeah.
you know, and
Put
Yeah.
it out there.
maybe
But try
reach.
to really stand out with a like a remix of a song that has some of your original elements
Yeah.
in it, or like you make a different drop on a song that is your drop.
But I mean, making
Something.
mashups is cool though, and it's also good to know how arrangements works and
It's
getting
good
to
for
know
your own
tracks.
set.
Yeah.
It's good for your own set, especially.
So
Here's
keep on
a
doing it though.
here's a question from Renzo, the community manager. Have you ever had to reject a DJ gig that paid a lot of money? And if so, why?
Well, I had to know, but I did. I remember this one time where I was asked to play somewhere in South America
Mhm.
for a pretty good fee, which I won't disclose because out of context, you don't know what if it's a good fee or not for me. But it was a good fee for me, like big fee. But it was like a right in between two tours, right in the middle of the week, and I needed 3 flights to get there and 3 flights back. And it was like the schedule was basically physically almost impossible. And I was like talking to my manager back then, and I was like, yeah, I'm not sure, like this, and she's like, you can also not do it.
Like, huh?
And then it just, at that point, it just clicked, and I was like, that one, I'm not gonna do.
Yeah.
Just gonna reject that one, and I'm still like very happy to this day I didn't do that one. Um, and also, then that manager, it was so nice because then you can, I think, trust someone a little bit more
Yeah.
who actually has your
Yeah.
interest
The
are
power to
most
say no.
important, instead of her like the fee she could get with
Yeah.
that, because that's yeah, well, easy money, I would say, because
You're
it's
doing
not
the
extra
job.
work for her.
You have to
So
go
yeah,
eventually.
so
Yeah.
that was a super nice. It was a nice thing.
Okay.
I'm happy.
What
Yeah.
about you?
No, we take everything, man.
We're a yes man.
Yeah, well, any chance to play is another one, and I mean, obviously Marlon has to do the work. But yeah, we just do it.
Okay.
And I mean, we haven't came to a situation where we would say no. We have said no before. Some areas were just a little bit too dangerous.
Like
Um,
physically
Drunen,
dangerous.
Drunen,
well, no, but
Noord-Brabant.
we did get some. I mean, Africa is like a continent which is kind of we're unfamiliar with, and you see stuff on the news. You then check the travel advisory, and then it's like this orange and red country. Yeah, then you're gonna sit down and say like, okay, are we gonna do this? Who are these people? And
Yeah, who's booking us?
yeah, and I thought it was like maybe I don't remember the country, but we were looking at the map. We're like, whoa, dude, it's next to Sudan and Eritrea. That's shit you know from the news.
Yeah.
But it's like a little prejudgment. We have no clue whatsoever. But at that point, you have to take a decision
Yeah.
and then say yes or no.
Okay.
But no, most of the time we just go, and I hope Marlon gets back, or else I have to go the next gig. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's end with the winner of the giveaway.
Hey!
Way.
The J Hardway giveaway.
Is it me?
The 30-minute mentor
It's
call
you
with
guys.
Jay.
Congrats, and we combined, so
Um,
it's an hour podcast.
First, the bad news. 5 more people applied for
Ralph.
Ralph's giveaway, so he won with 5 people, 36 people on your end. So
Still,
still
very
pretty nice. Pretty
Very
nice score.
Very happy.
For
Think we
those who
did
didn't
well.
know what we're talking about, we did a giveaway in our Discord community last week. You could win a 30-minute mentor call with Jay Hardway. 36 people applied, and I'm happy to announce that Marin won.
Let's go.
And
Congratulations, Marin.
he or she, I'm not sure what it is, got a mention on Discord. So just go to the Discord, see if you have been mentioned in the giveaway section, and send us a message,
We'll plan it in.
and we'll schedule it as soon as
Yep.
possible. By the way, we haven't heard from the winner from your
No. I just wanted to say I haven't gotten a track.
Jay
to,
Sugar was the winner of
Yeah.
of the giveaway with Bassjackers, the Bassjackers cap, and the in-depth feedback on one track.
I
And we
forgot the cap today.
and we never we forgot a lot. Of things.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Maybe he hasn't.
We have to write
got
it
a
in the
track
notebook
yet.
of Jay.
yeah.
Hey,
take your
I have
notebook.
it
Where is
right
it?
I have
here.
it somewhere.
We'll write it down.
I forgot the
I have
notebook.
it. I need to get a notebook so I can know
Forgot
where I
the
keep my
notebook.
notebook.
Yeah, that's your thing. Anyway,
Anything else?
anything to show?
No, not per se. We do. I mean, head over to our TikTok and Instagram. We're actually now showing a lot of our new music that will come in 2025. It will be a lot bouncier than you're used to us.
I
and,
liked. I think I saw a post
Yeah, it's
The-
yesterday or
the-
something. And I was
yeah.
like, "Hey, this
Describe
is cool,
the
man."
bouncier. What do you mean with
it's well, if you listen to
Yeah,
it,
you'll
you
get it.
notice.
You'll get it.
And I really like. I mean, it's
like Melbourne
kind of.
bounce?
No,
Yeah, well,
faster.
it's way faster than Melbourne Bounce, but it has kind of like the same. We did listen to some TJR again,
Oh, yeah,
like
TJR.
Ode to Oi.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a cool track.
Oh, oh, yeah.
Oi.
Is it like
And
the club head sound, the bamboo sound?
I don't know what the
Check
bamboo
the
sound
post,
is.
man.
Check the
I'll check.
post, man. So
yeah.
head over to our TikTok. It's
Yep.
tiktok.com/bassjackers. That BASSJACKERS.
And
Or Instagram. It's just the same. Check it out and let us know what you think of it. For us, it's kind of exciting. It's a little bit different and still has the same energy, still that signature sound, but in a different form. And for us, that's going to be 2K25 and mixed with all the stuff we were previously doing already.
Okay.
for me, I made a remix of "Bad Dreams" by Teddy Swims, and I'm trying to get it official. So we're just trying to get as much traction on it as we possibly can. So go over to my socials, leave a comment or whatever, and otherwise just check it out. I think it's pretty cool, and I'm bringing back the vocal chops
Is
for
there something cool we can,
2025.
or can we do like this? People send in their tracks on the Discord and maybe review the top 3 that you do a pre-selection or so.
It's like
and-
feedback.
Well, just listen to it and
We can actually
people,
do it
yeah.
here. We can. That's and we have a good, decent.
It
set
should
of
be a
speakers.
separate
Yeah, but I
item.
don't want to
think.
be on the podcast and then listen to a track for 3 minutes and then
It should be.
talk, we should talk about it beforehand. And
I think it
Uh-huh.
should be a separate item on the like a separate little thing we do.
Yeah.
Like so we record the podcast and then
Yeah.
20 minutes extra we do that, And it's
it
gonna
would
be
be
our
cool
own-
to
it-
do
it's
from
own
time
little
to time and
podcast.
see if there's progress and all.
I
and,
think
But
that's
I
better
think
to do in
that's
the Discord.
it's good as a second podcast in the week.
Yeah, true.
dude.
And
Yeah,
like
but we
that's only
pre-record
20
it.
minutes, and we're checking the
Yeah,
demos.
we just do it online and go through 3 tracks and then just upload that as a.
And
as
then
a-
in
Okay.
5 years, people are gonna come to us like, "Hey, do you have any new demos from your amazing weekly demo drop?"
and we will
Yeah.
become the A&Rs and
Yeah,
rule the
we
world.
will
Oh,
be like
We'll be the
laid-back-
gatekeepers.
No, we will be like laid back Luke and talk about like, yeah, remember when he sent it in our Discord?
Yeah.
And
Remember when we
Remember
signed
him?
that artist
She-
Bleep Blop?
Yeah,
how
Bleep Blop,
many
remember
how many
Bleep Blop?
females are in the Discord?
not too
Is-
many to be
no,
honest.
eh?
No, not too many. Or at least I don't know.
Please.
As in, it's all artist names in general.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. But
Can you
I
open up a
guess-
poll? A
Does
poll.
it matter at all? I don't think it
No.
matters.
Well, it's nice to know.
I don't care what your gender is, where you're from.
should people?
If you love music, I'm your friend.
yeah,
You're
well,
welcome.
that's okay. But it's nice to know. I mean, it's cool. I mean, maybe somebody's afraid to step out.
I must say,
but-
yesterday I did. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I did a Q&A in the Discord and ended up listening to other people's music.
Instead of your own music.
No, I normally do Q&A and just answer questions, but now they were like, "Hey, can you also listen to some
Ah,
songs?"
I
was
thought
like,
you normally only listen
No,
to your own
normally
music, and
we
then now I listen to other
normally
people's
everybody's
music.
there. We will listen to my music.
yeah,
and,
like a listening party. No, I actually listened to their music, gave feedback, which was nice again to do. But now that I see the comments coming in on the live chat as well, like people really want us to listen to their music. So why not start doing that as an
well, to be honest, I want to listen also to the music because what are we all talking about? And I
Yeah.
do know a few.
I'll set that up.
Yeah.
I'll set up like there is already a section where you can get feedback music, but I'll set up like a demo drop part where you can send in the songs every week and we just pick out 1 or 2 songs that we check and review.
Yeah, not in the
Why not?
podcast. I
Yeah, but
think,
just in the
yeah.
Discord.
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
for sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And
Okay,
we're
everyone.
brutal. We're brutal. So beware.
Yeah. For everyone listening, don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, family, colleagues, other DJs, co-producers, ghost producers, anyone you think this might be valuable for. We have had 56 people joining in this week.
Hey,
36
Woo!
for the live stream.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, 56 people who were
Look at my
up
peoples.
shout out.
actually
you
watching
guys.
us and listening to us. Shout out. So we will be back next week. And thanks again for listening.
Bye.
Bye bye.